Hello, welcome to Mr. B's Ukulele channel. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy watching.
Hello, this is my mini fingerpicking tutorial for the fingerpicking patterns on Kamado Tanjiro No Uta, which is one of the theme tunes from Demon Slayer, which I will be looking at this week in my Friday tutorial. So this is a little introduction to the fingerpicking patterns you will need to get into this song. There are 3 of them, and they are a little bit fiddly, but they're not too difficult to learn, and they are very similar to each other, so they follow quite nicely from each other. So I thought we'd do a separate little tutorial just to look at each one in depth. So here we go. Let's get into it. So there are 3 fingerpicking patterns for this song, and when I do the full tutorial on Friday, I will explain in more detail how they fit into the whole song and when you play them. Right now I'm just going to have a look at the 3 patterns one after the other. So we start off with this little pattern at the beginning of the song. And it's a nice soft pattern which has those 2 pauses, one in the middle and one at the end, that then leads into the main strumming of the song and the main singing of the opening to the song. So it starts on the E string. Now if you have a look at my fingerpicking diagram, let's just talk about what I've done there. In the left hand, I sort of it's quite natural to basically play. If you're on the first tab, use your first finger. If you're on the second tab, use your second finger. If you're on your third tab, use your third finger. And if it's further up, you either slide or move your whole hand up and start again. But basically for this song, you'll be doing 1, 2, 3 fingers on the first 3 tabs, and then sometimes you'll need the 5th tab. So I just slide my 3rd finger up there for the 5th tab. So that's the left hand, and I've not really indicated on the diagram which finger you use to press the tabs. That's sort of just natural, that if it's a number 1, use your first finger. If it's a number 2, use your second finger, and so on. But with the right hand, it can be a bit confusing, thinking, do I use my thumb to finger pick? Do I use my index finger? Where do I go with that? So I have color coded the right hand, and you'll see at the top I've put finger picking, thumb red, index blue, middle finger purple. So thumb in red, index blue, middle finger purple. And what I mean by that is where which one I'm finger picking. So at the beginning, on the opening E string with my first finger down, I use my index finger, followed by my thumb for the open, and then my index finger again. So it's index, thumb, index. And what's really key here, it doesn't really matter whether you stick to my suggestion or not. What's really key is that you try and alternate always. So if you're using your thumb, you follow it with your index finger. If you're using your index finger, follow it with either your thumb or your middle finger. And try and always have a bit of an alternating picking style, because you'll find that flows much more smoothly than if you're just using your thumb all the time. It just becomes a little bit more stilted if you're using the same digit over and over again. But if you can rotate between thumb and index, or index and middle, or the 3 sort of work nicely together, you can then get a much more flowing and smooth finger picking style going. So I tend to generally use my thumb for the top 2 strings, use my index finger for the bottom 2, and sometimes the top, and my middle finger on the bottom 2 as well. So I will typically use my thumb and index at the top of the strings for the G and the C, and my index finger and middle fingers for the E and the A string. So I've sort of got a bit of variety across the 4 strings how I'm finger picking. You might not be comfortable doing that. You might prefer using your thumb and index finger for all of it, or you might use all 4 digits, thumb, index, middle and ring finger. You might like to do it that way as well. There's different ways of finger picking. That's completely down to you. So my color coding is just a suggestion. Let's have a look at the first pattern now. So starting on the E string, first finger down, then open string, back to the first finger, open A, and then open E, and then second finger on the C, and we pause there, which is why I left a bit of a gap on the image. So one more time, E string, A string, E, and the C string with the second finger. Then we repeat that, E string again, A string, 3 on A, and 5 on A. And you can do a little bit of a slide there from the 3 to the 5 at the end if you want to try and just get a nice gliss there. So I just play that through one more time. and that's the opening finger picking pattern. And then in the second half of the song we have 2 more patterns that basically follow that same melody line, but just add a little bit more detail to it. So the second pattern, finger picking pattern 2 for this song, starts the same way. And then we have a bit of extra detail. So then we go down to the C string and we go 2, open, 2. So let's just do that again. So it starts on the E string with the first finger, up to the A string, back to the open E, then the C string with the 2, a second finger, back to the E on 1, back to the open A, and then first finger on A, 5th finger, open, just make sure you stretch right the way up to your 5th finger there, and that's where your dots on the top of your fingerboard will help you. The top of your fretboard there will help you. You should have dots on the side telling you where your 3rd and 5th fret are, and that does make a big difference when you're doing finger picking patterns like this, and you try not to look down at your ukulele too much, and you can just glance down at where those dots are. So we'll go from the first finger on the A string in the middle, up to the 5, open, E string with the 3rd finger, to the 1, 3, 2 on the C, open A at the end. So it's very similar to the first pattern, it's just a little bit with a little bit of added detail. I'll just play the whole thing for you now. There we go, that's the second pattern. And if we have a look at the third pattern, you'll see it's exactly the same as that, with basically an ending added on. It's not so much an end to the song, but an end to the finger picking that then leads into the rest of the song. So it's the sort of final part to the finger picking. So let me just play it to you, and then we'll talk about the ending that we've added. The third finger picking pattern goes like this. And just listen to the rhythm there, da da, and then there's a real pause on that E string at the end. So from the 3 to the 1, we really pause on that 1, and then we go to the 2 on the C string, back to the 1, open A, and then first finger and 3rd finger, but it's really slow at the end. So the beginning is the same as the last pattern and the first 2 patterns, in fact. So it starts on the E string at the very beginning of the song, E string, just 1 finger on and off, up to the A string, back to the E string, to the C string, 2 0 2, up to the E string, 1, open on A, first finger on A, 1 open 1, up to the 5, open on A, 3rd finger on the E, and then first. So it's a short 3rd finger, and then a long first, and then up to the C with a 2nd finger on the C. So C, E, A, 2 1 0, and then a long first finger, and then a 3rd finger with a pause on the end. I'll just play it one more time so you can hear how that all fits together. Okay, and there we go. There we have the 3 finger picking patterns you will need for Demon Slayer's Kamado Tanjiro No Uta, and I'll be releasing the full tutorial for the whole song this Friday, so do have a look at those finger picking patterns, and then you can get into the whole song at the end of the week. I hope you enjoy that one. Do take care. Thank you.